Hello, Immanuel family. I hope that you are well, and I hope that you're enjoying the snow as much as I am. I think now we've had 5 days where it's snowed every day, and I love it. I love that it's white outside. I love that it's cold. I love that it finally feels like winter. I love living in upstate New York. I hope you do too. Well, you know, as I do, that there are a lot of people who move into our community who are totally ill-prepared for the winter and for the cold. And maybe they're immigrants, maybe they're refugees, maybe they're just impoverished. Well, our kids, the kids of Immanuel, got talking about this in a Sunday school class, realizing the need, and then talking about how can they meet that need, how can they get warm things to people who need them. And they came up with the idea of doing a hat, glove, and sock drive, where they collect those things and then take them to the Utica Rescue Mission, where they can be distributed to the people who need them. The idea was pitched to me, and I thought that it was a tremendous idea, and let's absolutely get behind it and support it. So here's what we're going to do. Starting now through February 7th, we're going to collect new hats, gloves, and socks. Please do not bring anything used or secondhand. We're going to collect these things, and then February 14th or before, Valentine's Day or before, the kids are going to deliver these items to the rescue mission for distribution. And I think what a wonderful thing. I feel really proud that our kids came up with this idea, that we have Sunday school teachers who would support it, and that we as a church can get behind it. I love that this is our church family. So let's do that. Let's support our kids. Let's provide for the needs of our community. If you want to do this, if you want to buy hats, gloves, or socks, or all of them, then bring them some Sunday to church, and you can drop them in the box right here at the connection counter. Maybe if you're not attending right now, you can come to office hours when nobody else is really around, which are Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Deliver at that time, or maybe just give it to somebody else who you know is coming to church. Get them here, and the kids will get them delivered to the Utica Rescue Mission. And in advance, I thank you for any item that you purchase. What a blessing. Well, in other news, today, Wednesday, January 20th, was a really big day. As I speak, there is a new president of the United States of America. And I don't know what you think of Joe Biden. I don't know if his presidency is a big relief to you or if it's upsetting. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that we honor him as our president, as your president, as my president, and that we live in subjection to his administration and to our governing authorities. You know, Paul has written words to us about that very thing in Romans 13, 1 through 7, which I'm about to read to you. But before I do, remember that he wrote these words, these specific words, while Nero was on the throne in Rome. Nero was one of the worst emperors, and he's responsible for persecuting and killing hundreds, if not thousands, of Christians. He was bad news for the church, big time. And still, Paul writes this. So listen to these words written by Paul in the time of Nero. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive approval, for he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath for the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of the conscience. For because of this you also pay taxes, for the authorities are ministers of God, attending to this very thing. Pay to all what is owed to them. Taxes to whom taxes are owed, revenue to whom revenue is owed, respect to whom respect is owed, and honor to whom honor is owed. So whether Joe Biden knows it or not, twice in this passage it says that he is God's servant. And it also says that he was appointed as our president by God, and one day his presidency will end at God's appointed time. God has put Joe Biden in the White House. Believe it or not, that's what the Bible tells us. Therefore, we need to be in subjection to him, just as this passage begins. We need to honor him. We need to live in peace and in harmony with our fellow man. We need to be good citizens. That's what we're learning. So I want to challenge you today and throughout this week to pray for Joe Biden, pray for Kamala Harris, pray for all of our governing authorities, that they would govern well, that there would be peace in our land, and pray that God would indeed bless America. So as you adjust to a new presidency, and as this country adjusts to a new presidency, let's all be praying for that transition, for peace, and for God to be honored. Above all things, that God would be honored. Well, I pray that you be blessed, that you love this winter wonderland that God has blessed us with, and that you live in peace and humility.